So let's talk about reading. If you think about what is involved in learning to read, you will realize that this is a very complex process. It really can be very complex. Let's try this. Can you read that? I cannot, because that's Arabic. That's not the alphabet that I know. That's not the language that I know. So I cannot read. Definitely, I cannot read. What about this one? Again, that's not my alphabet. That's not my language. That's Russian. So definitely, I cannot read either. And what about this one? Again, this is Greek. That's not my alphabet. That's not my language. So I cannot read. I cannot understand. And I cannot recognize the letters there. So I don't know how they sound them. I don't know how to pronounce them. So really, this is mysterious writing. Now, what about this? Mysteriodes grapsimo. Oh, that's my alphabet. I recognize the letters. So I could assign a sound to each of those letters, blend them, put them together from left to right, and I was able to sound out a word. In fact, two words, mysteriodes grapsimo. The first one, mysteriodes, is very similar as in English, mysterious, or in Spanish, misterioso. Grapsimo, that's not in my knowledge. So there's no understanding there, even though I was able to decode. So there is no reading either. What about this one now? Can we read that? Mysterious writing. Oh yes, I was able to decode and I was able to understand. So these are the two processes that we need to be able to read: decoding and understanding. Now, to understand this, we need to think that learning to read involves setting up processes by which the words on the page can be recognized and understood. So learning to read involves setting up processes by which the words on the page can be recognized and understood. And that is in a formula. And this is the formula of the simple view of reading. That is a concept that appeared in the hands of Gough and Tunmer in 1986 to end up the wars of reading, where they say that reading and reversibly writing involves two processes really. One process is language comprehension that has to do with understanding the oral language, and that can be good or poor. The other process is word recognition, that is to say, word decoding, that is the technical part, that can be good or poor. Now, these two processes are 50% and 50%. If you understand, but you're not decoding, you're not picking the words from the page, you're not reading. If you decode, that is to say, you can sound out the words from a page, but you're not connecting to meaning, you're not comprehending, there's no reading. Now, In the process of learning to read, children will go through these 4 quadrants that you see in the model. Those are levels or processes within the processes. One of them is the children who are good at language comprehension and they are good at word decoding, meaning that the 2 processes go along together. They have good memory and they are very curious to learn and they grow. No problem with that. We do have children who are very good at the technical part, at decoding, but understanding is a little bit behind or a lot behind. That is to say, they are a little bit poor at language comprehension. We have to identify these children so we are able to help them through their process of acquiring a fluency in reading. What we do with these children is we prepare material for them to be able to level up the language comprehension that is behind. So probably when they are reading, we ask them again and again questions on reading comprehension to improve their skills of understanding at literal level, at inferential level, and evaluative level. We have a third group. This group consists of the children who are behind the processes. That, let's say, that are from a 5 to a 1, that are poor at language comprehension and are poor at word recognition, decoding. Probably these children lack of good memory. And they need to practice and they need a lot of repetition and another go. Probably these children are the ones who get distracted easily. They are not focused all the time, like they are on and off. So they need another go. These children have to be identified. So we are able to help them to improve and to grow in their process of acquiring the reading skills. Probably these children won't get the same material as the children of the top group or of the top bottom group. These children will need material that is not so complex, not so big, maybe less words or less sentences, so they are able to access more comfortably. And then we have the 4th group. And this group is about the children who are good at language comprehension. They really understand everything orally, and they have good memory in all these stories and things that they hear. But they are not very good at the technical part. That is to say, word recognition, decoding words. These children need to practice a lot on letter sound correspondences to be able to remember the letters that correspond to certain sound. They need a lot of practice in blending those letters, those sounds in words, to be able to hear the whole word and then access understanding, connecting to understanding. They need a lot of practice. So these children need more text with more words and very little or no drawings at all, images, pictures. So they make the effort to do the technical part, decode, blend, to be able to hear the word and then connect to the meaning. We can say that in this group can be put the dyslexic children. The dyslexic children, we do know that they struggle in remembering sounds with the letters. They are not consistent in that. So more effort has to be put there from us teachers to help dyslexics using a very effective method of letter sound correspondences, blending and segmenting, so they can improve and learn, acquire the reading process more easily. Now, if there is a simple view of reading, there is a simple view of writing, because the reversal process of reading is writing. And we do have two processes as well. Composition, that is articulating and structuring ideas, that can be good or poor. And we have the other process, the technical part, that is transcription, spelling and handwriting, that it can be good or poor. And again, we have these four possibilities. The top group, that are these children that do well. They go along the two processes smoothly and in parallel. And then we have the other group, that they are good at transcription. They like the technical part. They like writing. They trace the letters lovely, neatly, clearly. They know the correspondent sound for the letters they want to write. They know how to write them. But they are a little bit behind in understanding, in comprehending, in vocabulary, in grammar structures, in creating ideas, in articulating these ideas. So if we identify them, we are able to help them to develop what they lack. Then again, we have the third group, that these are the children who struggle, who are a little bit behind, who are not that good at composition, that is to say, to articulate and create ideas. They tend to forget what they want to write. And they also struggle and are a little bit behind on the technical part, that is transcription. So they struggle, they don't remember how to trace the letters. They don't remember if a letter represents certain sound. And the handwriting can be also not neat. These children need to have a lot of practice, patience, need to be identified, and need to be encouraged to grow, to improve, and celebrate each step they do. And the last group are these children who have wonderful ideas, who can retell stories marvelously well, but they are poor at transcription. They have not very good spelling and not very nice handwriting. They really struggle. They confuse the letters, or they take a lot of time writing because they don't remember the spelling. They don't remember the letter sound correspondences. So these children need to work upon the transcription part more than the comprehension part. So they need to be guided to be able to achieve their goal. Again, dyslexics could be placed in this group. They generally don't remember which letter corresponds to which sound. They can come up with a variety of different spelling of one word. And in the end, they give up because they really suffer writing. So these children, especially the groups, this last group, the bottom and the bottom top group, they really need a very effective and good method in order to learn to read and write. Whereas the top group will learn with any kind of methodology. Well, so then, as you see, learning to read and write is not that easy. And it's our responsibility to teach in a very effective way for everybody to be able to learn.